Hi everyone, Ohio State Senator Ken Smith here. Welcome to In Case You Missed It State House Edition, Budget Context Edition for the week ending April 5th. This week, the state budget process took a major step forward when Ohio House Republicans introduced their first budget. It was pretty bad in a lot of ways, but the thing that I noticed was how Republicans were spinning their dogma like it was just this moment in time and not a budget that follows a sequence. For example, Ohio school funding was declared unconstitutional by the Ohio State Supreme Court multiple times back in the 1990s, which ordered a complete systemic overhaul on how schools were funded. The bipartisan Fair School Funding Plan was the best response to that Supreme Court directive. To quote from the Ohio Children's Budget, quote, "The Fair School Funding Plan provides a predictable student-centered formula that is based on how much it actually costs to educate a child and how much a local community can afford to contribute towards these costs," unquote. But the Ohio House Republicans just traded stability for chaos. An analysis by Policy Matters Ohio says the House GOP proposal would shortchange Ohio's public schools by $2.75 billion over the next 2 years. Their analysis also said, quote, "The Fair School Funding Plan provides consistency, predictability, and stability to Ohio's school districts. The House plan disregards these strengths and continues a pattern of budgetary chaos caused by politically driven funding choices," unquote. Another GOP trick is to argue for tax cuts for the wealthy by saying something like, it's only a reduction by a small amount or a small percentage. But the context is the GOP has cut taxes over and over again for the richest Ohioans. Again, going back to the Ohio Children's Budget, quote, "Since 2005, Ohio has shifted money away from working class families towards the wealthy and well-connected through tax cuts and special interest giveaways. As a result, the wealthiest 1% of Ohio households are taking home on average $52,000 every year in tax breaks," unquote. So we're going to have a lot more to say about the state budget debate over the coming weeks. The fight is not over. Ohio has to have our state budget in place by July 1st. But be mindful that the GOP has a history of being dishonest when they talk about the context of their budget proposals, and that's what we're going to be watching for and fighting against. I'm Ohio State Senator Ken Smith, and that's In Case You Missed It State House Edition, Budget Context Edition for the week ending April 5th.